Hi friends, welcome back to Mark's Speed Shop. In this week's video, we're going to get a few things done, a few ideas going, a few things started. Got the Pistons in for the 327, I'm going to show you that. Got some more ideas and a little bit of started work on those headers. I'm going to show you that. That's why I'm all like this now. I've been pulling film. And we got a little bit on last week's cruise in. So I think you might like it. It's going to be a little hodgepodge of a few different things. But I wanted to put something together to have something to go out. Because I'm hoping next week, I got to go Wednesday. This is Saturday now. I got to go this coming Wednesday and get shots in my eyes. And hopefully I'll be able to see a little bit better. And got a few things coming up. Now, it may not be next week. I mean, you'll see some things, but I got a few little surprises maybe coming up in the next couple weeks, probably. I'll say that. But anyway, thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. Watch to the end. See what you think. Comment. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. But thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. Well, brought the Pistons. I got the Pistons up here. Seal Power Speed Pro. Let's see. Matched weight set. Size and weight matched set. I hope they'll be all right. They should be. I expect they'll be fine for what we're going to do. One thing I ain't crazy about is right there, made in India. Well, we're about to have some pretty good tariffs with India, I believe. But anyway. Let's get into them, see what they look like. Good looking piston there. Got this stuff on the skirts. Flat top of 2-valve release. Let's take them up here and see what it looks like with the engine here. Alright. I'll give it just a quick little bit here. Seems to fit pretty good. A little snug. Not too bad. Turn around this way. I don't have any rings on it right now, so I don't want to let it sit. I don't want to push it down in there, but there we go. I think it'll be all right. She's gonna be good and snug with them rings on it though. There it is, standard 327. Now I've already had the block taken. I took a block, gosh, it's probably been about 2 years now. took it over to the machine shop. And they checked it out, said it was in great shape. Standard bore, cam bearings, everything's looking good. Brass freeze plugs, everything looking good. So that's what I got, the 307 right there. Donor engine for the crank and rods. So now I'm gonna finish pulling all that out, and I'm gonna take the crank and the rods and the new pistons over to them and get them to put them on there. And then we can get started building it. This is the one I plan on putting those aluminum heads on. So we've got the hypertectic pistons, standard 327, 4-inch bore. Aluminum heads with 202 valves and all that. And heavier springs. I got aluminumized roller rockers. All that. Ought to be a sweet little engine. I'm not building. I do plan on putting a little bit bigger cam in it. So it ought to be a pretty sweet little small block. And we'll be getting on it pretty soon. I gotta finish pulling the crank and rods out of this donor engine. And then I can take all that over to the machine shop and get all that checked out. I'm looking forward to getting started on it. Of course, this is what I'm planning on putting in the Camaro, the blue Camaro. Unless something different happens between now and then, I'm not going to be in a huge hurry because I'm still working on this, obviously. But I mean, let's get real, I'll probably be working on this forever. But we're getting real close to cranking it up, and if everything's all right, it's going to run. So see, I built this engine in this, it's probably a good 25 years ago. Right here in the shop. And then, of course, pulled it out of the Camaro, and I pulled the heads and everything off because I was going to put those aluminum heads on it. Now, it's got the same kind of pistons, the hypertectic flat tops. But these are obviously the 350. Well, these are 30 over, 355, whatever. And I was going to put the aluminum heads on this. But once I found the block was cracked in this truck, I decided to put the 350 in here, go ahead and put the 400 heads back on it. And I bought a new intake I was going to put with the aluminum heads. It's a high-rise single plane. But I put the Williams Stealth back on this, a dual plane. Because it worked good in the Camaro, it worked all right. It'll be fine in here. And then I'm going to put the aluminum heads on this with the high-rise single full-barrel single plane intake and all that on this. So this is going to be should be a little bit higher winding engine. That's going to be nice. Yep, now I haven't, obviously I hadn't dingle ball home this. It's still got a little crosshatch in it from before. And these pistons, pretty tight right there. But that's going to be nice. Going to be real nice. I'm excited. I hadn't put pistons in the engine in quite a while. A little concerned with the way my eyes are now, but I'll just take a little more time, be a little slower than I was 25 years ago. And of course, this time I won't be drinking. I was drinking then. Kind of excited. I really am. I just hope that cranking all is in good shape on that donor engine. It should be. The engine was running, but you never know. But the crank's in good shape on that, and the the rod, journals, all that, everything's good on that. Put these in. We'll be getting about ready to at least start getting the bottom end together. That'd be nice. All right, now a little bit more on this header pipe. This is one of the header tubes I cut off. This is one of the, of course, the new pipes I showed you in the last video. And I'm thinking this might work pretty good. I was thinking I was getting it a little big so it would go over. Now, these have kind of ovaled a little bit where I was beating on them and working on them. But they're looking pretty much the same size. So we'll probably be doing some butt welding on that, and that'll be fine. But I'm thinking if I can make this the hump over the steering, okay, this pipe that's on the header is going to have to come up this way a little bit more to clear anyway. And then this one over here, I need to bring it out to clear more anyway. I think I can make it to work this. And it should be about where my hand is here, over the top, okay? Well, that would leave me just enough to go through where that linkage and all is on this. So I think most of what I need, I can get from right here. I'm hoping anyway. Now let me show you what else I was thinking. I got this old 318 Mopar header. And my idea was to have the straight pipe. Let's just use this piece of pipe as a reference. The back piece, the single piece back there, I've cut off. Putting a piece like this on, welding that to the end and having it coming through. Well, I've got to figure out this end, how to hook it to this, which that's going to have to be bent down and cut a little shorter, okay? So what I'm thinking is taking this old header, which I hate destroying a header. This was on the car. This was on the Charger on that 318. But they had the front end so low. And on these three tubes go under the drag link. And it's almost a one of them things that's even working. So it would take a whole lot to repair them, and these were probably, when they were new, they were probably $79, $89 tops. These are the cheapos. But what I'm thinking is taking it like here and cutting this, cutting it off, and cutting it, probably cut it a little longer to begin with, so I'm gonna need a little bit of this turn. Okay, and have this piece, and then probably this piece. This one has to be a little straighter, so I have to cut this one a little shorter, but I'll cut them both long. And clean them up to where this mating surface will fit this mating surface. And that'll put the pipes together on the header end. Now, like I say, I kind of hate destroying a header. If it was a good header, I wouldn't do it. But you can kind of tell it was kind of a cheapo at the time. And the other header's still halfway decent. But you can still, even now, overpriced, you can buy a set of headers for a small block Mopar for under 200 bucks. Yeah. So, rather than fool with a bunch of different flanges and trying to weld a pipe onto the flange and all that, what I'm thinking, since it's already got it all welded, it is square instead of round, but it'll be okay. I cut it, it's already got a piece of pipe on it with a bend. I'll cut it down here. I'll cut it a little long to begin with. You always cut long. If you cut short, you're hurting. If you cut long, you always cut it back a little bit. I cut this off and cut this. And then come over here. This got a right sharp bend, but it's on the end, so I kind of need it. And I don't want to cut up both headers. So I'll cut this and have this, and I can mate these two together and have one of them bending into the other header tube, which is going to need a bend like this. It's going to need a bend. And this one's going to need to be a little straighter, so I can cut it a little higher and it'll still be straight. That's my ideas, man. That's my crazy ideas. But I think it'll work. We'll see, won't we? Start cutting a little bit here. All right, well, I got one cut off. All right, so this is what I'm thinking on that. I'll probably clean all this up a little bit more too, but like I say, starting off, the more meat, the better. This might even go on the header side. This is what I'm thinking because of this bend right here. So if I can get that tube bent down some, I'll probably have to cut it a little short. So maybe the header's here. I can put this on somehow on that pipe and then hook it up to the other end. I might have to cut it up here and make it a little straighter. But I'm thinking that might give me a little flange there to hook to. Now, let me see if I can get this other side off, and I'll at least have those two pieces. All right, I'm gonna give that header a little break. I gotta finish cutting this off, but I can't. Well, my reciprocating saw is down at the house. I just got a little bit more to get through on the backside. But I've had enough for now. I got this piece cut off. You get the idea there. Clean that up a little bit. I'll probably have to do a little more flat surfacing on it. We'll try to make something work with that. Bolt these two pieces together. That'd be how you take that header loose from that end. I ain't opening it up right now. I opened it up and looked at it. But in this box right here, I've got an electric fan for this truck. I think the way the engine's so far back, I think if I did put a mechanical fan on, which I don't, good and bad, you know, this hand, that hand. It's pretty good as far as cooling, but they're a little dangerous. They're a finger getter. This one doesn't have a shroud and it's so far back I'd have to space it out a whole lot to get it up next to the radiator. I figured it'd be just easier starting off, just put an electric fan on. If I have an issue, I'll address that at the time. So I got an electric fan, I got the Pistons, and I'm working on this crazy header idea. I can't find my work gloves. I need my work gloves to change that disc, and I nicked it pretty bad, tore it up pretty bad. I ain't about to use that again like that. So I need to find my work gloves. When we clean the shop up, we put them somewhere. I remember rolling them up so there wasn't nothing get in them, hopefully, but I can't remember where I put them. But I'll find them. All right, so at this point, I'm going to show you a little bit on the cruise in from last week. I spent most of the time there talking to this one fella, Gary. He's the one that owns the lime green 1970 Duster. I talked to him, real nice fella. First time I'd ever met him. Can't remember, he's from south of here. I can't remember if he said Chatham or Danville. I think he said Danville. But anyway, really nice car. He told me a lot about it, and I can't go into all that. But I couldn't record it because they play music at the cruise in, like 50s and 60s music. And they play it kind of loud on the big speakers and all. And I can't really record that. If you saw one I did a month ago, I had a little bit of the music in the little clips, and I thought that wouldn't be a problem, and I guess it really wasn't, but they did tag my video as copyright because those are copyright things. You can't put that out. Anyway, I'm not going to play the music in this one. It's even louder than it was before. I'm going to mute that and just put a little music on it, but I wanted to set up the cars. A lot of cars there. I walked around. I was in kind of a hurry. I had to get back here to meet somebody. And I only had about an hour or so to spend. I spent most time talking to him. A little bit about the car. It's a 70 Plymouth Duster, 340 car with the numbers matching running gear. So it's got the 340 engine, the 727 automatic console, bucket seats, and 8 3/4 rear end. And since it's factory, it's got the small bolt pattern, the 4-inch bolt pattern. Most of your, Mopars, your B bodies, your C bodies, and all that, even your early pickup trucks have 4.5-inch bolt pattern, 5 on 4.5, and your Chevys usually have 5 on 4 3/4. Some have 5 on 5 and all that, the Buicks and all that. But anyway, he still got all that in it, and he had a neat story about the Kragers because he had 15 by 7 or 7.5-inch Kragers on the back with a 4-inch bolt circle. And he said they never produced that and put them out for sale, that the guy he got those wheels from raced some and was a Krager rep back in the 80s, I think he said. 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And he bought a set of Kragers and they drilled them for him for a 4-inch bolt circle. And so he ended up buying them from this guy and all that stuff. It's a really cool story, but it's a really nice car. Check it out in the video. It's just really nice. And I had a nice time down there, but I couldn't stay long. I had to get on out. All right, cruising into the cruise in. A lot of people here right now. 727, 8 3/4. He never told me what gear was in it. I'm not sure what. But it still has the 4-inch bolt pattern. He told me the story about the 15 by 7-inch Craggers on the back with 4-inch bolt pattern. And he said they were custom drilled by Cragar for another man back in the 70s, or early 80s, I think. I can't remember. But he said he ran them on a car once and he didn't like them. He put them in a box, and this fella talked to him and ended up buying them from him. And just really cool story. Beautiful car. I spent most of my time standing there talking to him. But got a little bit of video there. So I hope y'all enjoy it. Going home now. Alright, well, that's going to wrap up this video on a few different things. Part of it's the 327 for the blue Camaro. That's my idea now. You never know. By the time I get it built, who knows what I might have or I might do. But that's the idea. That's the plan. Building the 327. I got most of the big parts for it anyway. So you'll see a lot of that. You'll see most all of that. We'll see how it goes. But got that. Got a couple little things on the header. That's a slow process. I do a little bit when I can. And I got a little bit on the cruise end. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Just hit that little button, wherever it is, right over here. Hit that little button, you subscribe. I really do appreciate it. It's free. So you won't miss anything. Sometimes I ain't get much going on, but sometimes I do. So I'd like for you to come by and see what I'm doing. So like I say, thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. Come back to see me, and I'll be here, good Lord willing. And I'll see you at the shop. Oh yeah, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Hit that little button.